My name is Leroy Pinkelstein. I'm a student of Mr. Irish, and I'm up here with my two partners, and we're going to teach you about William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. I had Quatrain Number One. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. My translation of Quatrain 1 goes like this. Should I match you with an afternoon in July? You are extra beautiful and extra mild. Harsh gusts jiggle the precious flowers of spring, and June through August's allotted time period is very brief. So what that whole Quatrain Number One is about is that you, the person that Shakespeare is talking to, you are better than most people's favorite season. The first literary device that I saw that Shakespeare uses is in this line. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. And I said that that is the literary device of imagery, because imagery is details that appeal to the senses, which shows the reader instead of just telling the reader. Instead of just telling us that summer can be windy, this quote shows us the tiny blossoms of flowers being rattled by the wind. And the theme of that line is that the young man that Shakespeare is talking to cannot be swept away as easily as the beautiful parts of summer can. Winds will shake the flowers and eventually kill them when autumn hits, but the young man cannot be killed because he lives in the sonnet. The second literary device that I found was in the line that has rough winds and darling buds. So it's the same line, but it's specifically the rough winds and the darling buds. And that is the literary device of antithesis. It's antithesis because antithesis is the use of sharply contrasting words or phrases. The first phrase in the quote, rough winds, is negative and harsh, while the second phrase of the quote is positive and cute, almost innocent, darling buds. The theme of that antithesis is that summer may be nice, but it is nasty at the same time. The sharp contrast between harsh winds and delicate flowers parallels the contrast between summer and the young man, whose virtues greatly outweigh summer's virtues. The last device that I found is the sound device of consonants, and that's in the line, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. It's consonants because consonants is the repetition of consonant sounds at the middle of words or at the ends of words. So the phrase short a date fits that definition because t is a consonant and its sounds are at the middle or the ends of those words. And the theme of that line is that the summer season is quick and it's sharp. And so Shakespeare accentuates that by repeating a sound that is also abrupt and sharp. That sound reminds us that although summer is good, it is also fleeting, which helps us appreciate the immortality of the young man. Now I'm going to teach you about Quatrain 2, which goes like this. Now here's my rewording of that. So quatrain number 2 is all about how summer actually has some bad traits. That's what quatrain 2 is about overall. Now I'm going to tell you what literary devices I found. The first one is personification. Because personification is the theme of that line. The next literary device that I found is antithesis. That fits the definition of antithesis. The theme that Shakespeare is using behind that antithesis. The third and last device that I found is my sound device, and that's alliteration in the line. That line fits the definition of alliteration. The theme behind that line is I'm going to teach you about quatrain number 3, which goes like this. Here's my rewording of quatrain number 3. So, quatrain number 3 is about how your qualities will never die. That is what the whole quatrain is about overall. Now, the first literary device that I found was metaphor. Thy eternal summer fits the definition of metaphor. Now, the theme of that line is that my second literary device is personification. The reason personification is happening with Death Bragg is the theme of that line is that my last device is my sound device, and that is assonance. And lines to time fits the definition of assonance because assonance means the theme behind that line is that. Now, the last 2 lines is the couplet that we all agreed on the meaning of it. It goes, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So we all agreed that the rewording of that couplet is assuming that people will always be alive and looking, this poem will last forever and make you immortal. So basically the theme of this whole poem, because Shakespeare usually puts the theme in the couplet, the theme of the whole poem is that you will last forever in the sonnet. And we thank you for listening.